Discovery is done. You understand the client's pain. Now comes the hard part, convincing them you can fix it. Not by promising everything, not by undercutting the market, by building confidence. This is module 2, the strategy and the sale. And it's the difference between winning a deal and losing it to a cheaper competitor. By the end of this module, you will understand how to position a solution so it resonates with the client's documented pain, the difference between demo, POC, and MVP, and when to use each, how a POC de risks a complex technical problem without committing to full delivery, how to structure an MVP so you deliver business value fast, the anatomy of a winning proposal document, how to price solutions for profitability, not desperation, how to present commercial terms without triggering sticker shock. Here's the trap most consultants fail into. They win discovery, they understand the problem, they get excited, so they build a giant proposal, 100 pages, every feature they can think of, a price tag of $2 million. The client reads it, gets scared, shops for a cheaper alternative, buys from someone who quoted $800,000. The cheaper vendor delivers a mediocre solution. The client is unhappy. The original consultant watches from the sidelines thinking, we could have done that better. Here's what the winning consultant does differently. They size the engagement strategically. They build confidence through proof, not promises. They price for profitability, not for a winning bid. They position the solution as de-risked and achievable. This module teaches you how to do that. Strategy has a structure. Follow it. Step 1 is positioning the solution. Positioning is not features. Positioning is narratives. Features is we build an API that predicts cargo volume using hierarchical time series forecasting models. That's a data science jargon. The client CFO doesn't care. Positioning is we will give you visibility into the capacity demand 3 weeks in advance so you can allocate resources accurately and eliminate $12 million in annual losses for cargo delays. See the difference? Features describe what you're building, positioning describes what the client gets. Step 2 is the 3 confidence builders. Now the client believes there's a problem, but do they believe you can solve it? 3 tools build confidence. Each has different purpose. Tool 1 is the demo. A demo is a high-level walkthrough of an existing product or prototype. It is to show, don't tell, reduce abstract uncertainty. This is used when the client can see the solution in action, it becomes real. Example, let me show you a prototype of a forecast dashboard. Here's how a planner will interact with it. The cost is low to medium. It takes 2 to 3 weeks. Doesn't validate that your approach actually works. It's a visual demo, not proof of concept. Tool 2 is the proof of concept. What it is, a small targeted technical spike to validate a single risky assumption. The purpose is to de-risk the most uncertain part of the project before committing to full delivery. When to use when you have a technical question that will make or break the project. Example for CargoGo, we need to validate the hierarchical time series reconciliation can achieve less than 5% error on your historical data. Let's build a POC that trains a model on 2 years of your data and measure accuracy. The scope is very narrow, one technical question, one data source. The cost is low, the time is 4 weeks, risk is low, you are learning something specific. Deliverable, a report that answers the question, yes, HTS can achieve 4.8 MAE, or no, we need a different approach. Tool 3 is minimum viable product. What it is, the smallest product that delivers core business value, shippable, usable, real. Purpose, get to production fast, deliver value, learn what the client actually needs, when to use, when you are ready to commit to delivery, but you are not building everything. Example, phase 1 MVP, forecast volume and item type for the top 5 routes of JFK only. deploy via API, support 2 cargo buildings, use basic reconciliation, ship in 4 months. Phase 2 is expand to 20 routes, add more buildings, advanced reconciliation. The scope is narrow but real, it works, delivers ROI. Cost is medium, time is 4 to 6 months, risk is medium. You're building real software, but the scope is bounded. The key insight is demo follows with POC follows with MVP. It's a staircase of confidence. Demo basically says, here's what it looks like. POC, here's the proof the hard part is solvable. MVP, here's the real product generating value. Each step costs more time and money, but reduce risk. Most failed product projects skip the POC and jump straight to MVP. They discover mid delivery that their core assumption was wrong, and it's complete chaos. Smart projects do POC first, validate, then commit to MVP. Step 3 is the proposal document. Now you're ready to write the proposal. Not a spec document, not a contract, a proposal. A proposal answers one question: why should we hire you? Winning proposals have this structure. Section 1 is executive summary. This is the only page some decision makers will read. It must contain what you understand about their problem, in their words, what you are proposing to do, why it matters, the financial impact, high level timeline and investment. Example opening: Cargo is losing $12 million annually due to forecast errors that cause cargo delays, resource bottlenecks, and client attrition. We propose building a predictive capacity engine, a machine learning system that forecasts cargo demand 3 weeks in advance by building type and item category, enabling accurate resource allocation and reducing operational losses by 60% within year one. The total investment is $750,000 over 6 months. Expected ROI is 1.6 times within 12 months. Section 2 is understanding of the problem. Prove you listened, prove you get it. Include their current state, how they operate today, the pain points specific to their situation, not generic, the business impact in numbers, what they have tried so far, why it's not working. Write this in their words, reference their operations, their buildings, their routes. When they read it, they think they really understand our world. Section 3 is proposed solution. Now tell them what you will build. Include what you are building on a high level, why this approach solves their specific problem, the technical approach at a level that they can understand, key features in the MVP, what's not in the scope, prevent scope creep, timeline, when they will see value. Example: we will build a hierarchical time series forecasting model that predicts cargo volume, pallet count, and item type by airport, building, airline partner, and item category. The model trains on 5 years of your historic data and produces predictions via REST API. The predictions are available within 5 milliseconds and reconciled across the hierarchy. Phase 1: deploy the top 5 routes at JFK, 2 cargo buildings, 4 months timeline. Phase 2: expand to 20 routes, all JFK buildings, advanced reconciliation. Not in scope, UI dashboard, regulatory reporting, etc. Section 4 is team credentials. Who's doing the work? Include lead engineer, name, background, relevant experience. Data scientist, name, background, relevant projects. Project manager, name, background, delivery track record. Support or escalation contacts include one paragraph per person, not a resume, a narrative. Example: lead data scientist, Dr. Amit Patel, PhD in statistics from MIT, 8 years building ML systems at Amazon and Uber, led the Uber Eats demand forecasting projects with plus or minus 3% accuracy across 50 cities, directly responsible for model architecture and training. Show them you have domain expertise, not just generic software skills. Section 5 is timelines and milestones. When will they see value? Include week by week or month by month breakdown. Key milestones, when they should evaluate progress. Delivery dates for each phase. Decision gates when client inputs are needed. Section 6 is commercial terms. This is where many proposals lose deals. People get scared by the numbers, but they are often not scared by the numbers. They are scared because they don't understand what they are paying for. This section includes total project cost, what's included in that cost, payment milestones, what happens if scope changes, what excludes warranty, ongoing support, etc. It includes payment structure, 20%, 150K upon SOW BRD sign off, 30% upon MVP development, 50% upon final delivery. It also includes requirement discovery and BRD, data pipeline development, model training and tuning, API deployment, production monitoring for 30 days, weekly status meeting. What's not included? UI dashboard development, staff scheduling system integration, ongoing model retraining, post launch, regulatory reporting. Section 7 ROI projection. Now show them why it's worth 750K. Include current annual loss due to the problem, projected reduction, annual savings, payback period. Here's the part that makes consultants nervous: pricing. Most consultants do one of the two things wrong. The first thing that they go wrong is underpricing. They quote $300,000 because they think it's less likely to trigger a no. Result, they win the deal at a loss. They work 80 hours per week. They are miserable. The client gets a burnt out team. The second thing that they do wrong is overpricing. They quote 1.5 million because they want a big number. Result, the client shops around. They hire a cheaper competitor. You lose the deal entirely. Here's the right way to think about pricing. Your price should reflect complexity. How hard is the technical problem? Risk. How uncertain are we about the approach? Timeline. How fast do we need to deliver? Team. What's the cost of your team for this duration? Margin. What profit do you need? Let me walk you through the cargo course example. The cost to us: lead data scientist, $120,000. Senior engineer, $36,000. Infrastructure, tools, contingency, $34,000. Total cost, $250,000. That's what it costs us to deliver. We can't price at cost. We need margin. For a project of this complexity, we aim for 40 to 50% margin. So that's $350,000 minimum price. But wait, there's more. Risk premium. This project has technical risk. We haven't validated the hierarchical forecasting approach yet. If the POC fails, we have wasted 4 weeks and the client is unhappy. We price that risk into the proposal by including the POC as a separate gate. Here's the negotiation that often happens. The client says your proposal is $750,000. That's expensive. We got another bid for $450,000. You have two choices: cut price, deliver mediocre work, or anchor to value. You say our price is $750,000. Their price is $450,000. But look at the ROI with us. You get payback in less than a month. You are saving $8.7 million in year one. If their cheaper solution saves you $6 million instead of 8.7, the 300K difference in our price is a bargain. You are still ahead by 5.7 million. But here's the risk. Cheaper doesn't mean better. It means they are either cutting corners or going out of business. Which is it? Most clients choose quality over cheap when you frame it in ROI. Here's another mistake: asking for 100% payment upfront. No client does that, except government contracts. Better a three-way split tied to milestones: 20% at kickoff, 30% at MVP delivery, 50% at project completion. This aligns incentives. You don't get paid until they are happy. The client says, "We want to negotiate price." You say, "I'm open to discuss the deal structure. What specifically are you trying to adjust?" Client says, "The $400,000 phase one is too much." You say, "Let's talk about what would work. What's your budget?" "We are thinking $300,000 for phase one." "Okay, with $300,000, here's what I can deliver. Predictions for top 5 routes, one cargo building instead of two, basic reconciliation instead of advanced, and 4.5-month timeline instead of 3-month. Is that acceptable?" "Actually, no. We need two buildings. Let's stick with $400,000. See, you didn't drop price. You showed what $300,000 buys. They decided it wasn't enough." That's the right way to negotiate. In scope, not in price. Here are pricing mistakes I see constantly. Mistake 1: the undercut to win trap. You bid $500,000, competitor bids $350,000. You lose the deal. So next time you underbid, you quote $300,000. You win. But now you are working at a loss. You're miserable. The client is unsatisfied because your team is spread thin. Don't do this. If you can't win at a profitable price, don't compete. Mistake 2 is time and materials without a cap client. Just build what we need. We will pay you hourly. Sounds good until week 20 and you are still defining requirements. The client wants to keep going. You are burnt out. The bill is $800,000 and growing. Better is fixed price engagements with clear scope kits. If scope changes, then they should request a change request. Mistake 3 is forgetting about support costs. You deliver the solution, done, project closed. 6 months later, the model drifts. Accuracy drops to 8%. The client is panicking. Who fixes it? You? Unpaid? Better build support costs into year one. After deployment, we include 30 days of production monitoring and one emergency fix. Beyond that, monthly support contract applies. Mistake 4: not anchoring to value. You say the project costs $600,000. The client thinks that's a lot of money for software. Better, the project is $600,000. Your current losses are $12 million per year. Payback is within less than a month. It's essentially free. Same price, different framing, different reaction. Objections are expected. Here's how to handle them. Objection 1: your price is too high. Don't immediately drop prices. Say, "Help me understand your budget. What range were you expecting?" Listen. Then, "I hear that. Here's why the price is where it is: the team experience, the scope, the risk mitigation with the POC. If that's not feasible, let's talk about what we can do for a lower investment." Often they will say, "Actually, the price is fine. Let's do this." They just wanted to negotiate. You didn't fold. Objection 2 is, "Can you do this faster?" Timeline often comes down to, can your team move faster? You need to say, "We can accelerate certain phases, but speed has trade offs. Do you want to trade scope for speed or add resources?" Here's the risk of rushing. We cut corners on design or testing. That creates technical debt. Let them decide. Don't commit to an impossible timeline. Objection 3 is we want to build this internally. This is real. It happens. Say, that's totally reasonable. Building in house is a valid option. Here's what I'd consider. Do you have the team capacity? Do you have expertise in hierarchical time series modeling? What's your timeline? What's the cost of building plus hiring? Sometimes the math works out to outsourcing, sometimes it doesn't. Then, if you want to talk through the economics, I'm happy to do that. Often, after analysis, they realize hiring is expensive and slow. They come back to you. Objection 4 is we want to start with a smaller POC. This is actually good. They are interested. Say, absolutely. Here's what a smaller POC would cover. Narrower scope. That would be $25,000 and 2 weeks. But here's the risk. We might not get enough signal to validate the approach. If the signal is inconclusive, we end up doing a second POC. Often they will say, let's just do the full POC. Better to know for sure. By offering a smaller option, you make the full option look reasonable. Conclusion. Strategy is about confidence, not confidence in your ability. You have that. Confidence in the approach, confidence in the price, confidence in the timeline. Here's what you have learned. Positioning is narrative, not features. Connect everything to their pain and ROI. Demo, POC, and MVP are the three different confidence builders. Use them strategically. POC de-risks before MVP. That 50K might save you 400K in rework. A winning proposal has 7 sections: executive summary, problem solution, team, timeline, commercial, ROI. Price for profitability, not desperation. Anchor to value, not cost. Payment terms should align incentives. You don't get paid until they are happy. Objections are negotiation, not rejection. Handle them calmly, don't fold on price. When you do this right, clients don't just hire you, they trust you. And that's the best position to be in. In the next module, we will learn defining scope, SOW, BRD, TDD, and the change request process. Thank you.